Hello everyone, I'm back. Like I told you before when I did the Christmas de-stash kit things, that I have a bunch of Christmas stuff and I've been using them and I've been making little traveler's junk journal inserts. So we have, traveler's notebook junk journal inserts. So many words in that. It's wordy. Anyways, we have little fill note size or pocket size. It's the 3.5 by 5.5 size, and then we have this standard Midori Traveler's Notebooks size. So 4.25 by 8.25. So we will just hop in. The covers on all of them are vintage images from the Ideals magazines that I showed you pages from in the D-Stash thing, and I've used them in other things as well. Vintage Ideals magazines. So we'll start with the little ones. We have this little pocket one. This one is a religious Christmas, so it has the Nativity, of course, on the cover. Silent Night hymnal music, also a vintage image. Lots of vintage images. I didn't do a lot of decorating or things like that in the little pocket size. Let's see, should I try to zoom in? Would that be better? Oh, would you look at that? I'm in a good mood today. I can't help it. Okay, so we got mostly papers and images, so you can decorate and stuff and fill however you want to. We got a little bit of a vintage image here of a stamp. This is a Christmas card. It's an old Christmas card, not necessarily vintage, but some I had in my stash that never got used. This is a poem out of the magazine that I just tore out. It's got a little bit of an image on the back, but not much. A little poem with a sled going down a snowy path. The Gift of the Magi. Oh, some snowflakes there. A little village with a church, and there's another one. This was it was interesting. It was kind of like comic book style. So there's that, and that side over there, and just some writing paper also. It's a lace pocket, and it has two tucks. It has one under the cardstock and one under the lace, and these are just some vintage images of Christmas cards. I believe I got those from Graphics Fairy. Pretty sure. Almost all of my vintage images come from Graphics Fairy. I love her stuff, and the fact that she actually tells you about them, where she got them and stuff like that. Another poem. Vintage image here. Another one that makes a little pocket. This is just a little sewn collage here that I did with a little bit of glitter around the edge. And there's the back cover. There's that one. This one here is just winter scenes, like snowy night or something along those lines. This is some vintage writing paper, stationery. Got some trees, got a little farm it looks like down here, and some snow and clouds. A little pocket. This is from a Christmas card as well, and it's shimmery. A little bit of that vintage stationery paper that I now can't get back in there. There we go. Poem. It didn't quite fit perfectly, but you can still read it. A little pocket there with a tag. Some snow-covered fence. Another poem. It's a little rickrack sewn on here that makes a tiny little tuck spot for this vintage image. Just mountains and snow. Another poem right here that goes across the middle. And I used red thread on all of them just because I thought it was festive, and I think it works. It's Christmas. This video might go long because I feel like chatting. Okay, some more mountains with snow. This is a tuck spot. That's what it's called, or side pocket, what do you want to call it? And some birch trees and snow-covered tree there. Another little tuck spot with just some pattern paper sewn on. Can't quite get it. A little tag here with just a vintage image of a stamp. A little pocket here with a poem from the Ideals magazine. And there's the back. Okay, now this one is, I have to try to remember. It's been a little while since I made them. Oh, I'm all blurry. I'm sorry. I don't know how long I was blurry. This one has kitties and I think like children. It's very, yes, little kids, very like Christmas morning, let's see what's under the Christmas tree kind of thing. So you got a little kitten here playing with an ornament on a tree, and that wraps all the way around, and you got the another little kitty back there. Got a little girl looking at the snow, I believe through a window. Pattern paper, a little tag with some snowflake pattern, another kitten. Oh, yep, I just taped this one in because this is the beginning of the poem, and there's the end. It's one of the tree with an ornament, some elves decorating a tree, a little pocket here with a vintage image, and that's on pattern paper. Another little kid. A Christmas tree, got an elf here putting a star on the tree. Some children singing Christmas carols. A little girl making popcorn string, popcorn, what's it called? Garland? Got some more poems here, a little story, and then just snow. A little tuck spot with a vintage image. There's the other side of the little girl there. And the carolers, and there's one of those vintage stamp images. And a little tuck spot here. This is part of a Christmas card. That's just a journaling card. Another little girl by the tree. This was the other half of the other picture, so you can't. They didn't quite fit. They were kind of big, and I just collaged this down here for curiosity's sake, because the children's anticipation and curiosity about the presents under the tree. Some ornaments. Another little girl. This is the kitten in the basket. You got a little ornament there. Some pattern paper, and there's the other side of the cover. That little girl. And I already showed you the back. So there's the little ones. Those are the pocket size, and they're all the pattern. I didn't mention this, but they're all sewn onto heavy cardstock, so they're quite sturdy. The covers. My camera, I can't win with it. You guys know this. If you've seen any of my videos, you know that my camera's mean to me. Okay, this one is. I'm trying to think. I believe this one is mostly like nature pictures, I believe. I don't know. We'll find out when we go through it. I thought this was really cute. We have poinsettias and mushrooms, and it says Merry Christmas. And you have little bugs heading to the church here. And it says right here, Christmas in Bugsville, or Bugville, excuse me. Something Riley. Little title of the artist's signature there, and the title. Thought that was cute. This is some vintage felt ribbon. Got a sewn pocket here with, it was a ribbon, and it's called, what is that called? Plaid. Pattern paper. This is packaging from Cappuccino Mix. I put this in here. I think I put one of these in all of the large ones. This is important things to do. You can make your Christmas list. It's just something I have had for ages. Yes, I think this one is mostly nature prints with a little bit of other stuff. It's just what I could find. Got a poem here, a tree of Christmas, some coffee dyed paper. This is just a journaling card. This little pocket here. Let's see. I made a fabric pocket with some buttons sewn on. This is a sewn collage with fabric and papers and a couple of vintage images. This is not, it's just clipped in. It is part of a vintage Christmas card. It's a recipe card. It says from the kitchen of, or from the kitchen of, and then recipe. I always get the sniffles. when I'm doing this. Maybe I always have them, I just don't notice. We have a vintage sheet music of a song and a vintage image in this lace pocket. More coffee dyed paper. This is like a pamphlet, Dickens' Christmas in Today's Society. It's an interesting little bit of reading there. This is a tuck spot. You can tuck something behind the little hollies. There's some more plaid fabric sewn in. And then a little tuck spot, the vintage image. The other side of the pamphlet, little pine cone, just collaged on, a little bunny on this pocket. I need to hurry it up, or this is going to be a long video. This was a gift bag that is just sewn on. You can put it in 2 different spots there. This little tag fits in there quite nicely. This folds out. That one's collaged on. This one's just tucked in. Another vintage stamp image. This was the other side of the poem. It's about the Christmas fairy, I believe is what it's called. Snowflakes, you got jingle bells, little story. It's a story about an elf. The other side of the cardinals and a Christmas tree. And there's the back cover. Back of the cover. And I'm sniffling again. Always with the sniffling. Okay, this one is more religious. Christmas from the Bible story. So we got the nativity on the cover. And on the back is pattern paper with a poem from the magazine. I have absolutely loved these magazines, by the way. This is a fabric pocket. This was a Christmas card, not necessarily vintage, but I put it in there. Some writing paper. This is vintage. These magazines were my grandfather's. Well, and my grandmother's, but he passed away just a few years ago. And these were among his things. And, you know, my family knows that I use papers and stuff. So every time I get them out, I think of them. And they still smell just like their house. So, anyway, sorry. Got myself all emotional. It's a vintage image from the magazine. But I just wanted to share that with you. These magazines do mean a lot to me. But I can't keep them. I can't hoard them forever. And I feel like they're being well used, like this. Another one of those collaged cards in that tuck spot. This one goes clear across. It is a crocheted doily. Got a tag in this side. And then this was an image from the magazine that I just cut around and glued in, and it's sewn in as well. This is a tag in this side of the pocket with these little ornament, little tags that say joy. And as you can see, I left all the tails on from the sewing. Now that lace and vintage image. This is really old sheet music. This is a tag that I made from an image from the magazine, and it's backed with coffee dyed paper or tea dyed. I'm not really sure at this point. I put them all together. Pocket. On this side we have that music page just clipped in. More writing paper. We have a poem. More writing paper. It's an envelope that is just attached to this other side of the Christmas card. And I believe, no, inside of there it's just lined with green paper. So you can put all kinds of goodies in there. There's the back side. There's that one. Yeah, this video is going to run a little bit longer than I would have liked, but that's okay. Okay, this one is, I'm sure you can guess, Santa themed, that is. We got another pocket here. We got snowflakes. Another one of those lists and a large tag. A vintage image of Santa. This is some paper. It's textured. It's not regular paper. It's nice paper. Another one of those pamphlet pages. It's about Christmas Tree Story House Museum. tells you all about that, and got a large tag. And Mrs. Claus and Santa Claus with some elves. Little tuck spot here with another vintage image of Santa. It's candy canes, and there's a little girl. She is out in the woods with some deer. Not sure the story behind that. Another one of those vintage stamps. This is some felt little flourish that is glued down. This I was just playing with. You can do whatever you want to with this. I was just playing. It is some fabric that came off of a jar. You know how you get those the mason jars and they put the fabric under the ring but with the other part of the lid under it so it still seals? And I just glued some, or sewed, sorry, some cardstock to that to make, it's kind of like a little tag or card or what have you. I don't know. I was playing. I thought it was cute. So I went with it. This is a tuck spot and it flips up and it has Santa right there. At the other side of the elves, we got Santa and his elves in the workshop, and you can tell Santa's there because that's his leg and his foot. Pattern paper, writing paper, copy dyed. A vintage image of Santa. This came out of the magazine as well. It was an advertisement for another Christmas magazine. The other side of the candy canes story. Vintage image of Santa. We have here a large pocket with just some extra images and pattern paper. I'll go show you. This is Santa. Yes, this folds out. It's Santa and Mrs. Claus there in the north at the North Pole. This is just some extra paper. You can put where you want to. And this folds out, and we got jolly old St. Nicholas. And it's more of that story. The story sometimes goes from one side of the book to the other because it's just how it folds. This is just part of a Christmas card, not necessarily old. Some glittery washi tape. This is just collaged on Santa's bag full of toys. And we have the other side of the elves. Sorry, Mr. Jingle Bells. Okay, that is it. Those will be going up in my shop here in the next couple of days, so you can keep an eye out for those. And I think that's it for that. I think I'm kind of excited for Christmas. I'm ready for it to be here, and at the same time I'm kind of I'm done with Christmas journals for a while. I need to take a break, which I will do right after. I'm working on one right now. Then I'll take a break, maybe, if I can. I might not be able to. Can't help it. Okay, guys, bye.